on Ben. First, you're safe, and tell us what happened today.
Well, we were down near the town of Brega, a very important town where Libya has one of its largest oil refineries and natural gas export facilities. There was a day-long battle between anti-Qaddafi forces and the Libyan army that had come into the town in the early morning hours of the morning. Now, we were outside of the town with a group of opposition fighters who were preparing to launch a counterattack against the forces inside of Brega when we saw a Libyan Air Force jet fly overhead. It first dropped a bomb outside of Brega, then came back, flew right over our heads and dropped another bomb. It wasn't more than about 100 feet from where we were standing. There were no injuries in this instance. Now, later in the day, Elliot, we were with a group of fighters and local residents who were celebrating the fact that they had been able to push the Libyan army forces out of the city when yet again a Libyan jet flew very low over our heads, dropped a bomb right next to where all these people were standing and celebrating. Fortunately, there was a line of cars that seemed to block the impact of that blast, although there were injuries. We saw men with stretchers running to the scene as we, of course, rushed out of the area because we were afraid the plane could have come around again and dropped yet another bomb. Elliot?
Boy, Ben, just so it's clear, the footage we were just watching was out of those bombs being dropped, and the explosions and the holes were the consequences of the bombs after they exploded?
Yes, that's correct. We were right there on the scene. I mean, you could hear the plane going overhead, and our camerawoman, Mary Rogers, basically just panned in right where that bomb went off, just milliseconds after the blast went off. So, yes, that's definitely all of our footage. We saw it all a little too close for comfort.
I would say, obviously, thankful you are now safe back in Benghazi. Do you know what were the targets of this bombing raid? You said that Brega is an important gas and oil destination right on the Mediterranean coast. Do you think this means that the Qaddafi forces are trying to destroy the oil and gas infrastructure of the nation?
Not necessarily. They may be just trying to control it, because there's one very important point about Brega, and that is it's one of the collection centers for natural gas. That natural gas is pumped both east and west to fuel the power plants in the rest of the country. If he controls that power plant, he could easily cut off the gas that comes to this part of the country, giving him huge leverage over an area that at the moment he has no control of. So if he controls the Brega refinery and natural gas processing plant, gives him huge power over areas he doesn't have at the moment.